Damn, my sister's birthday tomorrow. Yes, sir. Welcome back. Monday, June 26, 2023. The Man to Man Pod is back. I'm one half of the pod. DB, Darius Butler, got my co-host, AB in the building. What's good, AB?
What it do, bro? How you been, man? It's been a minute.
It has been, what, 2 weeks?
2 weeks. Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of slow news in sports right now. Been doing some things. Obviously, been on the road doing some work, some charity work, spending time with the family, doing a lot of different things, man. But glad to be back home. I ain't been home in a minute, and definitely glad to be back here with the pod with you and the crew. I'm sure it'll be tapping in, man. How your I guess your time off away from the pod been?
Man, it's been good, man. You know, like you said, it's been filled with, doing some stuff, man. Getting some things going with the sports and entertainment group. You said, and spending time with the fam, man, and just being able to, chill, kick back a little bit, man. But like you said, good to be back, talk some sports, tap in with the man-to-man fam, man, and get it back popping.
Yes, sir. Speaking of talking sports, what we gonna be talking about today, man? It's race week for me, so I'm gonna be talking about my F1 sprint week as well. What you
F1.
got? What else we got?
Man, we got some NBA draft. We're gonna talk about that. Get our conclusion on how the NBA draft went. WNBA, they announced their all-star starters.
Yep.
So what AFC South FanDuel, they put out their predictions on the AFC South and each team how many wins they're going to have this year. So we'll discuss that as well, man. So we'll get to it.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be fun. And it was a question, a math question, a time question that went viral in the last couple of weeks, and had a lot of people. It may be me, it may be you, and some other people in the chokehold. But we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna get, I guess, the opinion of everyone that's tapped in as well on the right answer.
I like these questions though because it gives you a glimpse. I'm not gonna say in a good way or a bad way, but it gives you a glimpse of how certain people think.
Facts.
And obviously, it's not one way to see or come to a solution, but it definitely gives you a glimpse of how people, look into things. And then especially once they give you their explanation, you know what I'm saying? You really can be like, this motherfucker crazy as hell. Or you can be like, okay, I get it. You know what I mean? But, we'll see.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those Wonderlic questions or something, or one of them questions try to get you caught up, or the answer could just be as simple as it looks. But once again, we'll get to it, and I'm sure that'll be entertaining as well. But on the other side of this, we're gonna jump right into football. Obviously, it's not a lot of football talk right now. Jumping right to the AFC South. We're gonna start with the division that's close to home. Like you said, peek at the win totals. Obviously, that'll get us talking some ball. What our expectations are for some teams, and then we're gonna get into these other sports as well, man. But like me and AB said, glad to be back. We'll see y'all on the other side.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we talking, man to man, they can't guard me, man to man, they don't wanna see us, man to man, they don't know how to beat us, man to man, 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 yeah, man, that's in me, that's why I want it so bad. Must be the hustler in me that keep my foot on the gas. When you got it from nothing and hard times ain't so bad. Just know I'm coming for everything that they said I couldn't have. I put my life inside it, yeah, I kept it solid. Yeah, I played the field, that's how I feel about it. We put numbers on the board. We always up the score. Yeah, we stuck to the plan and never ran. Now they can't see us. Man, yeah, we talking. Man to man, they can't guard me. Man to man, they don't wanna see us. Man to man, they don't know how to beat us. Man to man, 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 man to man.
Any way we can get it, baby. Any way we can get it. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. AFC
Before we,
South, man. AFC South.
Hey, before we begin to that though, just let's talk about the NFC a little bit. I mean, not the NFC, the NFL a little bit as a whole, and one of what used to be one of the most important positions. We were growing up. Everybody, Little League. Everybody wanted to get that. Okay, AB says it still is one of the most important positions in professional football, but the current running back market, Saquon Barkley, former number 2 pick overall in the biggest market right now, still not paid franchise. Josh Jacobs, I believe last year led the NFL in rushing out there in Vegas, not paid either. He's on a franchise tag. And then Dalvin Cook, I believe coming off of 4,000-yard seasons, a couple of Pro Bowls, prime his career, still a free agent right now. And we almost in July right now. So what's your opinion on the current running back market, where it's going, where it is, and what should happen with these guys?
Man, I think it's unfortunate. Like you said, when we were growing up, running back was one of the most sought after positions, I would say, in the game. And I think it still is, right? Mm-hmm. When you look at championship teams, you have those running backs who can get it done, right? Throughout the regular season, but especially in that postseason. If you can go on a run, that running game has to be intact. It has to be on point. So now, with just the way the market is set, I'm not sure how we even got to this point where, you Dalvin Cook, you have, like you said, 4 1,000-yard seasons. I think he's coming off of 3 Pro Bowls, and you get released. You are unrestricted. You're a free agent right now, and it's June going into July. You're not on a team. Like, I don't get how we got here. I understand people say, you can find running backs in the 6th round, the 7th round. That's true. You can find players in the 6th or 7th round, but when you have guys that have the ability, like a Saquon, like a Josh Jacobs, like a Dalvin Cook, man, like, you got to do right by these guys, man, and you got to pay these guys. Again, I understand all the talk. I get it. Hey, the shelf life of a running back is only X, Y, and Z. I get it, man. But again, if you look at successful teams, man, obviously you have a good quarterback.
Yeah.
You're good in the trenches, and you got to have a dog in the backfield. So again, I'm not sure how we got here. I'm not sure where it's going to go, but I feel like, even the NFL just feel like this year they've capped the market, 10 mil. That's it. Obviously, that's what the franchise is right now. That number, but I don't know, D-Bud. I don't know how we got here.
Yeah, like you said, they capped the market. You look at like some of the old running back contract, like Edge and Fogg, and I feel like a lot of those guys, their deals are still competitive in today's running back market, which is absurd because you look at every other position: quarterback, running back, receiver. I mean, not running back, receiver, corner, and it's obviously taken off. But I guess to play devil's advocate, I think the last 6 Super Bowl champions haven't had a 1,000-yard rusher. So, it's a copycat league. We're going to look around and say, okay, I can spend this money elsewhere. You look at some of the running backs in recent memory who've been paid big money and then, kind of fall off that cliff. Whether it's Todd Gurley, who had an incredible career, Zeke, He got like I think a 90 bag or something like that. And you can say that with a lot of positions across the board. But when that running back market is under that microscope, that's what a lot of people are seeing. And then, like you said, being able to find a guy in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round, and even in the draft, when you've seen guys who 25 years prior, every year, this is a 1st, 2nd round talent, and they go in the 4th and 5th because of that value that's not put on the position, man, because they feel like they could just pluck anybody there and just do it by committee. You don't have a ton of those workhorses like that we used to when you first came in the league. When I first came in the league, a guy that's going to get 25 carries and then be out there on 3rd down, a new blitz pickup and be in a pass game. So it's tough right now. It's tough right now for the market. If you got a young kid, a young boy playing tackle football right now, I wouldn't put him at running back. Just that my personal put a little man at running back, put him at receiver, quarterback, corner, but running back, it just looked like that's just not the way to go. And obviously we know that they're getting beat up. It's the nature of the position. Every time they're on the field, pretty much, if they're getting the ball, they're getting hit, tackled by 3-4 people at a time. Even if it's a pass, they're in protection. Now they got to block a defensive lineman or a linebacker or something like that. So it's a tough position to play physically. And then when you see a guy like Saquon Barkley or a guy like Josh Jacobs, like that's what everybody wants. Your contract year, you come off of that healthy, you come off of that productive. That's when you should hit the market and change it. That's been the history of NFL, and you don't see it being done. So it's tough. It's tough, and I honestly don't see it getting any better anytime soon, honestly, unfortunately. We did have 2 running backs drafted in the top 12 this year, with Gibbs out of Alabama and Robinson out of Texas. But outside of that, man, it's tough sledding right now. JT, I think he's in the renegotiation talks with the Colts. Maybe he'll change something with his deal. But who's the highest paid right now? Is C-Mac? No, C-Mac out in Carolina. He signed a big deal a few years ago. Kamara.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I think those might be the guys. But so, you said like you don't think it's going to change anytime soon. So if you're Saquon, if you're Josh Jacobs, do you go ahead and sign those franchise, or do you try to hold out and wait and see if something shakes?
I mean, especially when I'm thinking about Saquon, and that team kind of went as Saquon went last year, and then once they started to key more in on him, Daniel Jones was able to have some more success. But I mean, you don't want to. The more time you miss, I feel it's not good for those guys, especially the guy who's had the injury history he has had. I would hate for him to. And it's already at the point where he's going to be showing up at training camp. Now, obviously, you got to trust what he's been doing away from the field, but you don't want to be a guy that's showing up, preseason game 3, and then you're trying to get full steam ahead for the season, or showing up and holding out 2-3 games to the season. And I definitely wouldn't suggest sitting out the season because I just feel like a lot of guys just don't ever recover from that and ever be the same, and what we've seen at least. But so it's just, man, when you put that cap on that market for these guys, 10 mil, and C-Mac signed 16 a year, like what, 3 years ago at least?
Yeah.
It's tough. And Saquon has come out and said, look, I'm not trying to reset the market. I just want my fair value. And every team is built different. I think his team, that New York Giants team, they need him to be successful, but they're playing hardball. So,
And it's tough to when he says my fair value, like what is that? You know what I'm saying? So like you say, C-Mac 16 a year, it capped him at 10. So like what is that fair value? Obviously he may think one number, the team, the organization may think one number. So again, like what is that fair value? Where is that happy medium for both sides to be able to come together and be in agreement on a number? So again, man, I think it's tough. I think you make a valid point as far as you definitely can't sit out because again, we already talk
man.
about the shelf life of the running back position. You know, we talking 8 years, and you know, before you hit 30.
Yeah. And that's what makes this for those guys, that's what makes this time around, you know, so much more important. As a quarterback like Burrow, Herbert, Hurts, Lamar, you know, they're signing these, you know, record-breaking deals, but we all kind of how that position is played, how that position is protected. We think they'll probably sign another deal, you know, 3-4 years from now and then reset the market again. These running backs, they're already showing you how the NFL is already showing how they feel about the position as a whole.
Yeah.
So it's even more important, it's even more critical for Saquon, for Josh Jacobs, for Jonathan Taylor to strike right now, just the same way C-Mac, Kamara, and Derrick Henry did, so that they're set with this, because you rarely see a running back get that third one. You know, receivers, we anticipate, you know, even Devontae Adams probably get another deal with these guys. But when you're playing these positions, man, this running back position specifically, it's tough, man. I hate to see it for these guys because, like you said, as a defender, when you come in, like if they got a bell cow back there, like a guy who speak like Le'Veon Bell, you know, when the Steelers had a role and they had the killer bees, and it was Big Ben, it was Le'Veon, it was Antonio Brown, like. Game plan wise, it still kind of started with Le'Veon Bell because you knew we couldn't let that running game get going, and then he was basically another receiver in the pass game as well. So if you are going to be a running back, make sure you on them jugs machine and you can be used in that pass game as well. Because Bijan drafted great receiver out of the backfield. Same thing with Gibbs, C-Mac. Dalvin Cook, I feel like, is a good receiver out of the backfield. Saquon is a good receiver out of the backfield. So, you know, hopefully these guys get paid. We always want to see guys get paid, but
facts.
Unfortunately, it's trending the wrong way for that position.
Hopefully, like you said, hopefully, man, it changes, man, because it's unfortunate, man. Mm-hmm. You go out there week in and week out, getting banged up, going out there, you know, having a major impact for your team in a positive way, man. And again, that they even see your number cap. That I think that's the most discouraging thing. Like, as a player, you want to know that I can go out here and I can do X, Y, and Z, and like Saquon said, I'm gonna get paid for my production. Right now, it seems like regardless of what I do in the field, you know, I'm not gonna be paid as such. So I think that's the most discouraging thing.
Yeah,
that's the most discouraging thing as a player. Like you said, we want to see everybody that's deserving to get that payday. So, like you said, man, I hope it changes. Mm-hmm. Hope something happens. I think it's a lot that goes into it. We can talk about how much the quarterbacks are getting paid and should they be in a separate, you know, salary. You know, we can talk about a lot of things.
Yeah.
Just how the dynamic, how the structure is built and how the foundation is built. But, you know, shit, we on the Man to Man podcast talking about it. Shit, we ain't making no calls. But
even Eckler, man.
Yeah,
Eckler out there in LA. He scored 17 touchdowns, something like that last year. Obviously a huge part of their run and pass game. And he was trying to get a new deal. They basically gave him a little bump, and it was like, all right, you got like $2-3 million more you can earn in incentives, which you getting on the agent side now, players hate it too. Like, because it all look good on paper. Everybody think they're gonna go into a year, and if I'm a receiver, okay, you got a 75 catch incentive, you got 1,000-yard catch, 1,000-yard incentive. Everybody think they're gonna hit it, but you don't want your contract built off incentives. You want that guaranteed money going into it. So it's tough, man. It's tough.
It is.
But let's get into the division now, man.
AFC South.
Ooh, AFC South, our own stomping grounds, obviously. For those of you who may not know the AFC South, that's Tennessee Titans, the Indianapolis Colts, the Houston Texans, the Jacksonville Jaguars right now. So we're going to preview that. And the Jaguars won it last year, correct? Which
correct.
I think you called at the beginning of the season. You called them being
just doing what I do, baby. You know what I'm saying? Just doing what I do. Just call that shit out. That's it.
You called it being a team that was going to make a huge turnaround. Obviously, going from a very, very bad record to a playoff berth and a playoff win.
Yeah.
Unbelievable comeback win against one of my squads, the LA Chargers, who had a 27-point lead. That was despicable. But right now, AB's Jacksonville Jaguars.
Now we ain't gonna go that far. We ain't gonna go that far.
Okay.
We ain't gonna go that far.
My
But
bad.
Jacksonville Jaguars, yeah.
But they're favored right now to run it back and win the AFC South again. Right now, they are minus 160 on the FanDuel Sportsbook. Titans plus 380. Colts plus 500. Houston Texans plus 800 to win it all. Let's start with the Colts win total. Let's go over these win totals. I think pretty low. Obviously, we didn't have a great year last year. Got a new quarterback in the fold. We expect Richardson to come out the gate starting. Our number 4 overall pick, Anthony Richardson, set at 6.5 wins. Minus 128 for the over, plus 104 for the over. 6.5 for our Colts.
Over.
That's low, high?
That's low. 7. I think they can get 7 wins, man. I think JT coming back off of injury. I think he, being healthy this year. Like you say, Anthony Richardson, I think even as a rookie quarterback, he's going to be able to come in and do some things for that offense just with his versatility, being able to, move in the pocket, being able to run, being able to have that dual threat at the quarterback position. The receivers, I think the receivers going to come up, play big for us. And then the defense, obviously some things that's been going on in the offseason. We'll see if Shaq Leonard is healthy. Corner, one out corners, got into some stuff as far as the gambling. So we'll see how the defense looks. But I think 6.5 wins. I think we'll be over that this year.
I'm with you. I can see us getting 7-8 this year. Part of it is the division we're in. I think Titans can be got. I think the Texans can be had. And the Jacksonville Jaguars, obviously, they are the team I feel like built the best right now. They're in the best position to continue to improve year in, year out. Even coming in this year, I think they can get a good 9, 10 maybe. But I'm with you. I'm going to go over right there with the Colts as well. And that over, once again, for that 6.5 is at minus 128 right now on the FanDuel Sportsbook. We go to Titans. Titans set at 7.5. But I expect Ryan Tannehill to be the starting quarterback this year. We'll see if that changes. Obviously, they drafted Malik Willis last year, and then they drafted Will Levis this year in the second round. So right now,
that room crazy.
over under set at 7.5. Still got Derrick Henry in the fold. Solid defense, great pieces on defense with Simmons, Byard in the backfield. I think they tried to get to take a pay cut, which is crazy with the production that he's put out there year in, year out. But Tennessee Titans, 7.5 wins. I'm gonna go under on this one. I'm going under 7.5 wins. Yeah, I think they take a step back. I think at some point Will Levis is the starter for the team. And the Titans, Mike Vrabel, unbelievable coach. Always has his team ready to go out there and play. But I think this is a year they take a big step back. I'm going under for the Tennessee Titans. So under 7.5.
I think this is tough because of the two things that you mentioned. A good defense and you have Derrick Henry. So with a good defense and a good run game, I feel like you're gonna have a chance. You're gonna have a chance going into each game. Coach Vrabel, like you said, gonna have his team ready to play. I think the biggest if is the quarterback play, that quarterback position, and getting some playmakers on the outside. So I'm gonna have to disagree with you on this one. I think they'll be over 7.5. So yeah, I'm gonna go Tennessee Titans over.
Tennessee Titans over. So right now you got the Colts over 6.5, Titans over 7.5.
Yep.
Oh, Houston, Texas. They're the same as the Colts. Over under set at 6.5. Plus money is on the overside. under 6.5 wins is a minus 134. 6.5 for the Houston Texans.
Whew.
New
First
quarterback.
New
CJ
quarterback.
Stroud, which we both love coming in. Will Anderson, he's the new anchor on defense. D'Amico Ryans, new head coach.
Yep.
With all that being said, under.
I'm agree with you on this one. I think we're gonna see flashes. But like you said, I think just the organization has been a lot going on the past couple years in that organization, man. So I think it's gonna take some time for that organization to get back. Now I ain't say get back, but get to a point where get back.
They had a couple AFC South championships there.
Man, look at here.
Had t-shirts.
So again, it's gonna take them. I say at least a season or two to get them to a point where they're out there. I'm not gonna say out there competing, because I feel like they'll go out there, they'll compete, like you said, with a good head coach, with a good young quarterback, got a stud on the defensive side. It's gonna take some time. So, but I agree with you. It's gonna be under.
Yeah, I think it's going to take some time as well. They have had some stability for the last few years in the front office with Nick Caserio. Obviously moved on from Deshaun Watson with that situation. Him getting, he got paid and he had to hold out. They flipped those picks. Got one of the best tackles in the game with Tunsil. Took care of him. Think he's the highest paid tackle in the league. And now you've picked opposite of, what the running back market is doing. The league has kind of put the tag on the premium positions: quarterback, left tackle, pass rusher, corner. They got Derek Stingley, who they drafted 3 overall at LSU last year. So they got those premium positions, you would think, sold up, but you got to get to the league and produce consistently. So that's something we got to see from those positions and those people. But I'm with you this year under. But I think they are built. They're built to compete in a few years if they pan out. And that comes with coaching. I'm getting my Starlink installed right now. Yeah, so no more of my daughter said I had some McDonald's Wi-Fi.
She ain't
too much money for that. So
she
can't have that.
She ain't lying. Spectrum be over there whooping that ass.
The Jacksonville Jaguars, who've been whooping our ass too often lately. They're over-under set at 9.5. Pretty high here. High expectations for Trevor Lawrence in the Jacksonville Jaguars. Over minus 150. So the FanDuel Sportsbook feels more confident with them going over than under. Under that plus 122. Where you at with over? Ooh,
over, man.
Season for Dougie P and Trevor.
Hey, I think Jacksonville got something. I said it last year, but I think Jacksonville Jaguars, I think they have something. Coming off the year that they had, like you said, making the playoffs, getting a playoff win, bringing in a head coach that gets it. Bringing in a head coach that gets it. So again, we talk about a lot on this podcast as far as the culture in that locker room, in that building. I think they're starting to get that, and then obviously it's showing on the field. So then you add a dog, Calvin Ridley, that was out last year, to that offense. Man, it's gonna be special, man. It's gonna be special over there with Trevor Lawrence, man. And he had a decent year. It was a lot of talk about, hey, is he going to be a bust? But I think last year, he showed, hey, look, I have some promise in this young quarterback. So to add Calvin Ridley to that offense where you already had, some playmakers, and then the defense. The defense was balling last year, making plays around the ball. So, yeah, I got them winning the AFC South again this year. I see them making a longer run in the playoffs. And I got them above 9.5 wins.
So that's at least 10-7. You talking 11-6 type. I mean, you made a lot of good points. Points were made. And I went under with a couple of these teams. So I'll go over too. I go over too. I do like it. Remember how the hype with Trevor Lawrence, and like you said, didn't have they had a terrible year first year.
Yeah.
Dougie P, and there's a head coach showing he can obviously Super Bowl champion is a head coach position too, playmaker. I kind of forgot about Calvin Ridley, honestly, being on that team. Calvin Ridley's a dog. That's wide receiver one. If he comes back full strength, Christian Kirk made a lot of noise getting paid a few years ago. He stepped up and shown he's worth it. And I love ETN. I love the young. He explosive back there in the backfield. So yeah, man. The Jacksonville Jaguars with high expectations going into the year.
Yes, sir.
Loaded AFC. I forget which other division they play though, but we both go Jacksonville Jaguars over 9.5 wins, and we also got the Jacksonville Jaguars winning division.
I would
favorite right now.
I would switch this up. Obviously I got Jacksonville at 1. I would put Indy at 2. I think Indy's going to surprise some folks, and then I'll have Tennessee Titans at 3, and then Houston rounding this division up. So I would switch 2 and 3. That's just my opinion. I can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm with you. And we both took the Colts over their win total. And,
yeah.
Well, I took the Titans under. You took the Titans over. So I'm with you. I go Colts. Not Colts. I'm sorry. Jags, Colts, Titans, Texans. So I'm right there with you, AB.
Okay. I mean, sometimes, most of the time when we agree on some things, man, good things happen, man. So we're going to see. We're going to see.
It's true. Dougie P, leadership, scary. People agree.
McDonald's Wi-Fi.
All right, baby, feel bad. Come on, man. Daddy got his McDonald's Wi-Fi. I said, damn, baby, I'm paying for the the fiber wire. It's supposed to be 1,000 up, 1,000 down, but we'll see if Elon can get me right. We'll see.
Man.
What we got next, man? Elon supposed to be fighting
yeah.
Zuckerberg.
I'm definitely gonna tap into that. I'm definitely gonna tap into that. That might be one of the biggest tickets behind Spence and Bud.
Fact. That the numbers that Zuckerberg versus Elon would do are gonna be crazy. I would tap in. I wonder if
no question. Shit, they gotta have that in Vegas.
Who you betting on? They not having that in Vegas.
I'm going Zucker. That boy be doing an MMA. They be showing him. He be on the mats and everything.
But Elon might have that Neuralink in him. He might have that little chip in his brain. He might. You remember Meteor Man?
Yeah, man. Elon on that smoke, man.
Remember Meteor Man? You just pick up a book, you learn everything in it.
Man,
Elon gonna get out there and be a black belt, but nah, Zuckerberg putting in work.
Facts.
Definitely who I'm betting on. And speaking of that Bud Spence fight, I'm leaning a little more towards Bud.
Oh yeah, I was about to say that, man. I think I'm gonna go with Bud. I think I still got a couple weeks. I think it's gonna be a phenomenal matchup, man. But I think I'm going with Bud on this one, D. But
I'm with you. Before we move on, we got this FanDuel read. I don't know what the odds are going to be on that fight, but if you're betting, matter of fact, you should read it.
Let's get it. Woo! Let me get it up. Pause. Let me get it right.
Hey yo.
Yeah, as I said, pause. All right, here we go. The summer is here with a variety of sports that you can bet on at FanDuel Sportsbook. FanDuel Sportsbook is providing a special offer where new customers can get a no sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's $1,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. There's no better place bet this summer than America's #1 sports book. visit fanduel.com/M2M Live. Again, visit fanduel.com/M2M Live and get a no sweat first bet up to $1,000. Any favorite bets you got, D-Butt?
So you know what? These no, I wouldn't go to winning totals yet. These F1 bets coming up this week. It is race week. The Austrian Grand Prix. You obviously know who's gonna win it.
Right, facts.
But
my man Max, shout out to Max.
When they had these podium bets are the best bets. I'm gonna let you know right now. I gotta start tweeting them out right after. Few hours after qualifying. I don't make my F1 bets until after qualifying because things go wrong, go right, whatever, and I get a better picture of how the car is performing, how the driver is performing on that track. So once that's set, once qualifying is set, they usually take the markets down for a few hours and then they'll come back up, kind of like Saturday night. That's when I know. But who's going to make the podium? Sometimes they'll have top 6 finish on there. They'll have a top 10 finishes on there. Sometimes they'll even have, how many cars are going to finish the race, how many cars are not going to finish the race. They'll even have how many seconds is the winner going to win by. Is it going to be 5? Is it going to be 10 or more? It's going to be between 5 and 10. But fastest lap, podium, and top 6 are some of my favorite race props to bet on.
Man, I could make a prop on F1, and I don't even watch it.
Hey, that's facts. It has been dominant, but once again, sprint week is back. In sprint, so you have the qualifying, and then you have a sprint race. So let's say you qualify and you make, your P4. Now you go into a sprint, and the sprint race is a much shorter version of the actual race, so it may be like 25 laps, no pit stops. And then let's say you come out and you P2 in the sprint race. On Sunday, when you start the actual Grand Prix, you'll be in that second position, even though you qualify 4th. But if you win 2 spots in the sprint, you get to it. So it's exciting for the fans. The drivers don't like it for the most part, but I think it makes the race weekend as a whole more exciting for the fans. So definitely tap into that. Speaking of F1, some more star power has entered. Hey, Ryan Reynolds is on a run. He's on a run right now with his investing. But at Joe Pompliano, his Twitter account, great Twitter account to follow.
A great Twitter account. Great.
You can go ahead and read that one, AB. So I got all this damn drill in the background.
It's all good. Don't blame it on the drill. An investor group that includes Red Bird Capital, Ryan Reynolds, Rob Mecki, and Michael B. Jordan has purchased a stake in the Alpine Formula One team. That's 24% stake, $218 million invested. It's a lot of bread. The deal values Alpine's F1 team at $900 million. And as D-Butt said, it brings more star power to F1. So they look, 24% stake, $218 million invested. Woo! Valuation at $900 million. Hey, that ain't bad.
That is not bad at all.
And
Alpine, however you want to pronounce it, has been a solid car, solid history in the sport. But got a good driver lineup right now. Got a good car, Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon right now. They're drivers. But Ryan Reynolds, he sold Mint Mobile, I believe. We might have talked about it on here. But basically, cell phone company sold that for at least $1 billion. What's the big soccer show? He owns a team that's in the soccer league. I think he's a part of what's that big soccer show everybody watches? Somebody help me out, guys.
What is it?
It's a show based around a coach on a soccer team.
I don't know, man.
Got a real soccer team in there. But anyway, Ryan Reynolds is winning right now. Deadpool, obviously, he's in that. But
yeah. And if you can invest if you can invest your money into something, hey, that's the way you get
Ted
to the
Lasso.
bag.
There we go. Ted Lasso. There we go.
That's what it
That's
gets to
what
the
it is.
bag.
That's what it is right now. But yeah, he's been getting to the bag. Obviously, I know him as an actor. You know, he's been on TV forever. But now he's shown his business acumen and making a lot of great moves. Shout out to Michael B. Jordan too.
Yeah,
been a part of that investor group as well. And owning 24% of a team, we can see 5 years down the line they can be the majority stakeholders in that. And that's the move. But shout out to Ryan showing the way. Ace Boogie said he sold mint for $1.35 billion. Took away about 300 M's from that deal. And that was the first I had even heard of Mint. But
I use Mint.
Something.
You use Mint?
Absolutely not. There's no way you use Mint Mobile.
What you mean?
You got Mint Mobile. You got a trap phone. I don't know what that is.
So if we talking about the same Mint
Mobile, that's like Cricket, right?
I'm thinking it was the finance app. Is this is that the Mint?
I don't know.
Is that the Mint we talking about?
I don't know. We got to do some research.
Yeah, we got to do some research on
that though. But forgot to mention Red Bull's 100th victory last weekend. Max Verstappen responsible for 41 of them. They just cracked the 100 mark. I think McLaren, Mercedes. God damn. All right. McLaren, Mercedes, Ferrari, and now Red Bull. Shout out. What else we got, man?
So it must. Okay, yeah, it's the same Mint.
That's the same Mint? Oh, yeah. Coke says same Mint. Ryan Reynolds sold Aviator Gin. He sold Gin too? Oh, Reynolds getting to the bag.
To the bag. Quiet as kept. Dang.
So we got discrepancy here. We're gonna do
I don't know. I mean, it definitely could be more than one Mint, but anyway.
They probably all up under that same thing if they sold for that much. But good business, Ryan. Good business, man.
Great business.
What else we got, man?
Man, let's talk about some of the work you've been doing, man. You was on the move. You was out in Jamaica on the Red Stripes. Went to Syracuse with our guy, man-to-man alum.
Yeah.
Tavon.
Yeah, man. So every year, out in Jamaica,
right there.
Solid defense. Solid defense. That was still a bucket too. You see my teammate under the rim. Talking about why I ain't passing the ball.
Right, wide open too.
Wide open. I'm a bucket though. Was not taking it easy on the kids at all. You already know. But every year we would go out to Jamaica with the Roujon Foundation. It was founded by my friend Andrew Batchelor, aka King Batch, on socials. Him and his family do a great job out there. Every year we were going. 2019 was the last year we went pre-COVID. You know, the pandemic kind of shut us down for a few years, so we went back again this year. And it's always a big group of us, a bunch of actors, actresses, a few athletes. And we do these camps to basically expose these kids to different sports. Basketball has become much bigger over there. Even American football has become much bigger in the last few years. So it's been awesome. We do workshops, self-esteem things, just a bunch of different things all over the island. We land in Kingston, and then we make our way across the island to Montego Bay and the Grill, and we do some school visits as well. But it was awesome. Yeah, some people saying that backflip though, the Vine, he pretty much ran Vine when it was out. But a lot of followers on YouTube. He's a part owner in the Zeus Network. Been to a bunch of movies and stuff. So shout out to Andrew Batch and his group of friends. HBCU grad, not Howard, Lance Gross. Did Lance Gross go to Howard?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So Lance Gross, he comes every year, him and his family. Bo Cass was smart. Who else came this year? I forget. A lot of people. Jaleel White always comes.
Yeah.
A lot of people obviously know him as Steve Urkel. And then left there in Tavon Branch. He does his camp every year in Syracuse. Same thing with that. Pandemic kind of shut that down. So Tavon Branch, Latavius Murray, Mike Hart, and a few other guys from that Syracuse area. They do their camp up there every year. So it was great to get back there. I'm being a part of that. And my favorite part about his camp, Tavon's camp, is it's a game that we play, and it's called like the Challenger game.
Yeah.
And we play it with like a lot of kids, and their families with special needs. And obviously they aren't always able to compete and do a lot of things that other young kids their age are able to do. And it's always a blessing, always a reminder, and just have so much gratitude. To see these parents and these kids who deal with so much on a daily basis, just to do everyday things that a lot of us take for granted. So that's my favorite part about that camp. But a lot of good people, good friends of mine, obviously doing some good work. And that's something that was kind of like, as a player, I started doing, and it would be like right before that long break before training camp.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always a good reminder, good reset. And it's nothing like giving back. I know the Bethea Family Foundation. Yeah, I had your event recently as well. But it's nothing more fulfilling, more impactful, not only to the kids or families that you're interacting with, but then to yourself as well.
Yeah.
What you're doing. So that's what I've been doing for the last, probably 8-9 days. Obviously great to be back home. Got back in my bed late last night for the first time in a while, but awesome time away, and now we back with the man-to-man game.
Love to hear it, man. Love to hear it. Like you said, very impactful. Getting out in the community, man, and doing some good work, man. So shout out to you, D-Buck, for doing that. Before we get out of here, man, we had a question on, I think it was on Twitter, man, that was putting a couple people in a frenzy.
Oh man.
Here is the question, right? What's the right answer? What is the closest time to midnight? To midnight now. So you got 11:55 a.m., 12:06 a.m., 11:50 a.m., and 12:03 a.m. I know my co-host D Butt said 11:55 a.m. is the closest to midnight. I don't know how the hell he got that. 11:55 a.m. is closer to midnight.
So A, 11:55 a.m. It's 11:55 in the morning. B, 12:06 a.m. C, 11:50 a.m. and D, 12:03 a.m. Now, what first of all, my answer was A.
Right.
My answer is A.
Right.
And your answer is
D.
Okay, your answer is D. I would like to see the answers of the comment section as well. Now I'll put this up on my IG as well. And I had a poll for 24 hours. I think around 2,000 people participated in the poll. Final numbers came in. 70% chose D. I got some real questions about this 11% in the middle that chose B and C. I got some real questions about that one. But 18% chose A. I'll show y'all the question one more time. And once again, my answer was A, 11:55. And the reason my answer was A, yes, I'm aware 11:55 is 5 minutes from noon. But time only moves forward. It's just like Christmas. Once Christmas passed, you got to sit and you got to wait till Christmas again. Your birthday, you got to wait that day. Every day away from your birthday going that way is a day closer. Not like, you know what I mean? You can't go backwards with time. So depends on how you look at this question. I personally, when I first looked at it, I'm like, okay, the initial answer D that comes to my mind, that's too easy. So it's got to be a little more. It's got to be a little tricky question.
It doesn't though.
Maybe I was overthinking it.
That's why I just feel like sometimes, you know, we might just overthink the situation. I definitely get your reasoning. And again, that's why I say I like these type of questions because again, it shows, you know, mental capacity. It shows how, you know, people it shows how people come to conclusions, right? You know, but again, I just feel like, you know, sometimes we try to, like you said, try to dive too deep into certain, you know, certain, like to get that certain answers, you know what I mean? But I definitely get your reason. I just feel as though, hey, what's the closest? Like, okay, so we talking about a number like number 5, right? Like number 5. Okay, what's closest to 5? Is it 7 or is it? No, that's a bad example. That's a bad example. But you know, I just feel like the closest.
It's time, man. It's time, and obviously, you know, you got people. Hey,
so I mean, I get what you're saying, but obviously 12:03 is
55 with ease.
12. I just feel like 12:03 is closest to midnight. So I feel like 12:03 a.m. midnight was 3 minutes ago. It was close to midnight. Whereas 11:55 a.m. that's further away from midnight.
Correct.
Just in mind, that's the way I'm thinking. But I understand how you can get
to midnight. That might be the key words too. That might be what I thought, which gave me A as well. Because once again, my big time, it's time. And I know it is a proximity. It could be a proximity question. To me, I always see time like as an until question. And as time ticks forward, 11:55 a.m. is 12 hours and 5 minutes away from midnight. 12:03 a.m. is 23 hours and 57 minutes away from midnight. So once again, I guess is how Price is Right. You know, it's how you see the question. I wouldn't say a mental capacity question,
mental capacity.
I would say how sometimes, like you said, we may just overthink things. Like if I saw this question on the Wonderlic test, I'd be like, okay, they trying to get me. Or the SAT or something like that. I'd be like 12:03. That's too easy. I got to look deeper. What are they trying
to? And then
what are they trying to? And that may be where I go wrong. But obviously, it's got the comment section and chokehold as well. So we got a lot of different. It's either A or D. I'm glad I'm not seeing anybody picking B or C.
Yeah, we'll probably have to ban you from the pod if you.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess the question depends on, and that's why the question was put up. I'm sure that's why it was posed. Reading reaction skills. Never trust the obvious answer. That's how I feel, Tom. That's how I feel, man.
Oh shit, man! This the big. I know y'all into the conspiracy theories. Then you.
Hey, you not?
Hey,
better wake up.
Hey,
you better wake up, AB. Don't be they be getting y'all. They be getting y'all.
Nah, not at all.
They be getting y'all.
Hey man, shout out to my man Marcus Dupree in here, man, getting engaged, man. The fiance said yes, man. Congratulations, my guy.
Congrats, man.
Congrats. A day winner, supporting the pod, man. Former high school teammate of mine.
Hey, talk to him, Tom. And open your third eye, man.
Man, look here.
And open your third. Hey, these conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories up right now. If you keep it up the score, if we keep the scoreboard right now, I'm not saying I'm a conspiracy theorist. I'm not saying that.
Facts.
But I don't take much for face value. I do my own research for sure.
You got to do that. You got to do your own research. We ain't gonna be green out here. Never that. But hey.
But yeah, interesting question. Once again, I went with A, but you know, I could change my mind at some point. I could change my mind. I could be convinced. But what I will say, I did convince a few different people to change their answer.
Nah, I mean,
now you got me think about it. But you know.
Yeah, nah, you might be on something.
That's what the internet's for, man.
For sure. Before we get out of here, it was this past Thursday again. Congratulations to the young fellas, man. NBA draft.
Oh yeah.
Again, guys been probably playing that game. They're more than half of their life. So to be able to hear their names called, draft night, walk across that stage, put that cap on. So congrats to them. I think as expected, young fella, how you pronounce his last name?
I said it last week or 2 weeks ago. Somebody said I butchered it. I'm gonna say Victor okay, I think you got it right. Okay. Say it one more time.
Wembanyama.
There we go, Victor. Yeah, Wemby. That's what we're gonna call him.
Yeah,
Wemby goes number one, as we all expected. There goes the first. The first three were kind of locked in. We just didn't know where Scoot or Miller were gonna go. They were kind of flip flopped. But Brandon Miller went 2 to the Hornets. Scoot Henderson went 3 to the Trailblazers. Let's see if Jordan finally got one right on his way out, Michael Jordan. But the dopest story of this draft to me came at 4 and 5 with the Houston Rockets and the Detroit Pistons. 2 brothers, Amen Thompson and I believe Asar Thompson. They go back to back, drafted number 4 and number 5 as brothers. First pair of brothers to get drafted in the top 5 as teammates. Just an incredible story. I'm sure they've been pushing each other and been dreaming and talking about this their whole life. So huge shout out to that whole family.
Yes,
but huge shout out to everybody on this list. And in the second round as well. We don't have the second round on here, but everybody that drafted and signed, deals after. It was the 2-time MVP and the current NBA champion, Jokic was a second round pick, actually drafted, famously during a Taco Bell commercial. So they didn't even have him getting drafted on the television screen. So you never know, man. It's just the beginning of another journey. It is different for everybody. It's a different experience at the beginning and that journey throughout the NBA or wherever you end up playing professionally. Basketball is going to be different as well. But like to AB's point, congrats to those guys getting started.
I know we talked, Tone mentioned it. I think somebody else mentioned it as well, Marcus, as far as Victor going back to San Antonio and having a dinner with the greats. It was Manu Ginobili, Tim Duncan, David Robinson, and I think it was one more I'm missing. I think Sean Elliott? I think it was Sean Elliott.
I think that's who was all on the far left in the picture.
Yeah. I think it was Sean Elliott.
He's been dogging NBA Live, by the way.
Man, he was a dog on the court.
Yeah.
But I think that was good to see, man. I think that just goes to show, Coach Pop and again, just talk about the culture, right? Just the culture that they've been able to create. Obviously, the Admiral. I think he was drafted in 1987 as the number 1 pick, then Tim Duncan in 97, the number 1 pick as well. So be able to have that type of knowledge in one room to pour into that young man, that was dope to see. So, shout out to him. I got a question for you, right? We were talking about
this. Big for those guys to pull up too.
Now, facts. Do you think he's obviously number 1 pick, a lot of hype around him. I think the most hype since LeBron. Do you think he's standing at 7'5"? Do you think he's a bona fide superstar when he walks into the court in the NBA?
Day one, nah. No. I actually, I wouldn't even. I think he may even struggle the first year just because that's a grown man's league. A lot of people don't think of the NBA as being a physical sport. In 2020 it's as soft as this, as that. But that's a grown man's league, and obviously he has the height But it's gonna come down to how much he can build on that as well. And but I don't think he'll be a bona fide superstar day one. Obviously, as far as a prospect goes, that's somebody you create on NBA 2K. 7'5" with a jumper, with handles, with the fluid movements. But it's a big boys league. It's gonna be tough for him, I think, early on. I think day one, Scoot and Brandon Miller may look better day one. And I like Amen Thompson a lot too. But day one, I don't think superstar. But shoot, hopefully I'm wrong. I think LeBron was obviously a superstar day one. I felt like Zion was a star day one. Obviously, we didn't see a bunch of them, but the way he played, he was, like shooting 60-something%, rebounding the ball, having touch around the rim, passing the ball, everything. So obviously Victor has those tools. We shall see, man. Yeah. We shall see. I'm excited about him though, but we just haven't seen a guy at his height have that long, productive NBA career yet. Yeah. So hopefully he's the first.
Yeah.
What you think?
No, I don't think they won. And being 7'5", man, I just feel like you look at his body frame, man. I don't want to be negative, but I just feel like it's just something to it, man. You see, like KD kind of dealt with it a little bit. Then you look at Anthony Davis, like 7'5", and I mean, what the NBA, 80+ games? 82 games, and running up and down that court, man, just at 7'5" and just the frame. I just feel like that takes a lot. It's a lot of wear and tear on your body, and like you said, like, you don't
like falling at 7, just a regular ass fall at 7'5".
Bro, that's a long fall, bro. That's a long fall. So again, man, I hope I'm wrong. I hope he comes in. Yeah. I hope he kills it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But again, just want to be real too, though. But being 7'5" and the skill set that he has, man, I think he's definitely gonna create some problems out there.
Yeah, and then with the Blazers taking Scoot at 3, it's been a lot of talks about Dame Lillard moving on. I really, really hope he comes out here to the Miami Heat. But I really like Scoot's game. We do definitely need that superstar. I think he'll fit in with the culture as well. But I got a question about your Phoenix Suns. Your Phoenix Suns now. They got another star, Bradley Beal. What's your thoughts right now? How do you feel about Book, KD, Bill being on the same squad, and then CP3 now being out there in Golden State with Steph in the game? What's your thoughts about those big moves in the NBA?
With Bradley Beal, man, first off, he has to stay healthy. He has to stay healthy, but like who takes the winning shot?
KD. I think KD still does. Even though looking at the playoffs this past run, it still felt and looked like it was Booker's team. And then
we don't know. For real, we don't know, because Bradley Beal, he comes in, he's a bucket.
He is, but I think that's D Book's team. But Kevin Durant, once again, had plagued by injuries last season. But when he's out there,
I don't know. I mean, 3 great players.
Who coming off the bench? That's a better question. They're gonna need us.
And that's another thing. So your starting lineup, you got them 3 dogs in the lineup, man. But I still don't think as a team, like, you gotta have depth. Like, when it gets to that point where, like, you in the playoffs and you trying to make that run, you gotta have those guys, those role players, key role players, who are gonna be able to come off the bench. You got to have the guys that know, like, okay, I'm not scoring the ball. That's not my job to score the ball. My job is to rebound, defense, set these screens. Like, I don't know, bro. Like,
no doubt.
I don't know. I don't know. I think it's going to be cool to sit in the seats and you see them 3 guys go at it. But again, who takes the last shot? Like, it's like who we drawing the plays up for. Like, you got to be a mastermind at the coaching position, I think, to have these 3 guys, because they all bucket getters, to be able to get the flow. You know what I'm saying? And then you already, you had Ayton upset last year because he wasn't getting the rock. So you gotta get him to buy into the system. So I just think it's a lot, man. I think it's a lot that's gonna have to go into it.
New coach too. Is it Frank Vogel? Did he take that job? So I know they got rid of Monty Williams. Monty Williams out in Detroit. New coach, no bench. I didn't have faith in the Suns last season. This honestly gives me a little less faith in the Suns going forward. I didn't like not a fan of the CP3 to Warriors move either.
They tossing my man around now, man.
Yeah. I mean, you can never tell a guy when to hang it up. And that's he's had an amazing career. First ballot Hall of Famer, top 5 point guard by most metrics. But we've seen it, get towards the end of the season, gets towards the playoffs, body just for, whatever reason, just kind of breaks down. But yeah, I don't like that move with the Warriors to the Warriors. It'd be interesting to see if he's moved before the season, if he moved again before the season starts. But also don't see him clicking with Draymond. Draymond, I still think is kind of, the vocal and the locker room leader of that team. He's not under contract right now, but I think they get something worked out. But I think those two are butt heads in there as well. Steph still got tread on the tires, so they still one of my squads in the NBA. But don't love that move at all for CP3 in Golden State. We'll see if it sticks. Jordan Poole, he's now with the Wizards. I'm sure he's going to enjoy himself out there.
They said Jordan Poole going to be on HU campus, on Howard campus, posted up.
Jay Poole, but he probably still have he out of Golden State. He got his ring, got his bag, but unfollowed Draymond immediately.
Man. But again, I'm with you, man. CP3, man. Again, you never gonna tell a guy to hang it up. I think he still can get some good ball left. Leadership role, but he just tossing my man around right now, man. And I just feel like as a first ballot Hall of Famer, man, at times, you just gotta call it quits, man. Go into the front office or something. You know what I'm saying?
It's another guy who's been doing some great things off the court too. In the community, investing, doing a lot of great things. CP3. So been playing a long time. 38?
A long time,
Yeah.
Like we probably I know he's 15 plus.
Yeah, for sure.
15 plus.
Sure. And he went into college for how long was he at Wake?
2.
Okay, so 2 years. 2. Yeah, so he been at it for a while. Everybody can't. LeBron is, he top 3 all time for a reason. Everybody can't. LeBron's still 38 doing what he's doing. But shout out to CP3, man. We'll see where he ends up. Triple J said 18 seasons going into season 19.
Okay.
Is,
he might be pushing 20. He might be trying to get them 20.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Long time, especially with his frame. So to be successful at all in that big man's league. I said with his frame, bro, you got to grow up, bro.
Whoa.
You got to grow up, man. To at that height in the NBA to have
that's a little better. That boy got a frame.
That he's had is already beating the odds. Crazy. But
try to talk over me, so I don't.
Shout out to CP3, man. We'll see how it ends up. F1 this weekend, sprint weekend.
Shout out to Max, man, getting that dub.
Hey, yeah. Shout out to Max getting that dub. He once again has a rocket ship. You can't even put it. Right now I can't even put it all on the card because his partner be getting his ass whooped the last few races. Checo ain't even been able to make it to the third round of qualifying, let alone get on the podium or anything like that. Fernando Alonso,
they taking his confidence, man. He need to go. He need to go to another team, just off the snippets I be hearing, man. They be doing
he got the same car.
But
he got the
man,
same
taking
car,
his confidence, man. Like,
If you're not performing, they get you up out of there quick. But to have that car, you got to be finishing second in the world. I think he is second in the world championship, but you got to be.
They doing something different to his engine, man.
They turn his engine down.
Yeah, man. They doing something different, man. Like it's no way Max can be doing what he doing. Then my man can't. Nah, man. He need to get a arbitrator to motherfucking go in there and test his car. Like, you know, we got to put these on together. We need to run. Like it's no way. It's no way.
Same car. That's why, you know, that's
see,
why
they telling you just told me that I'm believing everything. You gotta that third eye that Tone talking about. It's no way.
I gotta open it up. But I mean, look, we can see qualifying. We can see when he crashing out and tweaking and qualifying when it's just you just trying to get the fastest lap. So you got to be better, man. But shout out to Max right now. Max is on his run. We went over it on the pod a couple times. These different championships, stints, and errors where certain drivers and constructors just dominate, and that's what Red Bull on right now. Max be smoking that for sure. So yeah, his confidence, because everybody in the world looking at it like, hey, they may be lying to us, but y'all got the same Red Bull car right now. Y'all got the same RB19. So you got to figure it out, Checo, because it ain't looking good.
Man.
It ain't looking good at all. But hey, we appreciate y'all, man.
As always, man. We back at it. We going Thursday or next Monday?
It's on you, man. What you want to do, man?
Like you say, it's still slow news, man. So
it's slow, yeah.
It's slow, so we can, you know, we be back here come Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Get to it.
As we start getting closer to the season, we'll start picking up the frequency of the show again. We talked about the AFC South. We previewed that division. We previewed all of the win totals there. And obviously some things may change, you know, going into training camp. I think maybe injuries, maybe this, maybe that. But we shall see. The next division, what you want to do? NFC South, or you want to stay in the AFC?
Let's go back and forth. So we did AFC South. So next Monday we'll touch on AFC South.
All right, there it is. So next Monday would be the NFC South preview. I wonder who's favored to win that division right now. Panthers?
You got the Panthers, Atlanta, Tampa Bay, Saints. That's tough. You got your man Baker out there in Tampa. Atlanta. I don't know. I think Carolina, the Panthers might be sleepy good this year, man.
Lisa, rookie quarterback, number 1 overall pick, new coaching staff. They put together a hell of a staff, I think.
Hell of a staff.
But we'll see. That's what we're previewing. That's the division we're previewing next Monday. We'll see y'all then, man. We missed y'all.
Yeah, man. Like Brad said, man, get your 30 minutes in. Hey. Man. Move around, baby. It's Monday. Start that week off right. Get your minutes in. Get your steps in.
AB, show up there in your golf game.
Hey. It's getting there.
Okay.
It's getting there. You know, we played like the back 5 last week, just so I can get, you know, acclimated to like just the game, you know, the drive, you know, chip shots, the putting. So this week and this past week, you know, the weather was bad. It was raining, so we stayed on the range. Yeah, we stayed on the range. You know, we got to work even in the rain. You know what I'm saying? We got to be dedicated to this shit.
Got to.
You know what I mean? So this week, man, we're gonna try to get on the course and play. But I'm getting confident. I'm not gonna say I'm getting good, but my confidence is building.
That gotta come first.
Yeah, man. So you know, my consistency as far as hitting the ball. That's one of the things that I wanted to be able to do. Just every time I get up there, be able to make contact with the ball, and then being able to keep it in play. So if I can hit the ball and keep it in play, shit, I can go out there and rock. So going good so far, man.
That's what's up, man. Hey, 150 in. Learning the game from the greens out. A lot of us, especially former athletes. We get infatuated with that driver off the tee. You want that long shot off the tee, which is obviously important, but working that game from the greens back is the key. And I'm obviously learning that too. Learning patience too. Learning patience, how to attack a hole, pause, instead of just trying to go straight at it.
Well,
Sometimes you gotta lay up. Sometimes you gotta lay up and play the game right, man. It's chess, not checkers out there, man.
Yeah.
But we'll see y'all on Monday.
Yes, sir.
We out of here.
Peace.
Bye, NFC South.
Man to man, yeah, we talking. Man to man, they can't guard me. Man to man, they don't wanna see us. Man to man, they don't know how to beat us. Man to man, 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 yeah, man. That's in me, that's why I want it so bad. Must be the hustler in me that keep my foot on the gas. When you got it from nothing and hard times ain't so bad. Just know I'm coming for everything that they said I couldn't have. I put my life inside it, yeah, I kept it solid. Yeah, I played the field, that's how I feel about it. We put numbers on the board, we always up the score. Yeah, we stuck to the plan and never ran. Now they can't see it, man. Yeah, we talking, man to man. They can't guard me, man to man. They don't wanna see us, man to man. They don't know how to beat us, man to man. Man to man, 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 man to man.
Any way we can get it, baby. Any way we can get it. All right, appreciate y'all, man. We out.
All right, man. Be good.
Yes, sir.